Hari Om Namaste. Welcome. Welcome to the first part of your mind detox program. In this part of your training, you are going to establish a very essential foundation that's going to really set you up for success for the rest of the program. That's actually going to be doing you so much more. I can imagine that you have often felt that your mind has been hijacked. Have you ever felt that your mind has been just completely hijacked? And you're like, who's in control? Who's making these decisions? It's not me. Do you experience that? I know I have. Right? Well, in this first module, you are going to be positioned back into the captain's chair. You're going to kind of take back command so you can be more deliberate with how you want to participate. Basically, it is in this module that you're going to take back your power of choice. And those choices reflect in what kind of food do you want to eat. How often do we say, I want to eat a certain way, but we find ourselves still eating this way? Old patterns, right? We have a power of choice with how we interact with others, right? There's so many times in our life, and maybe you can think just going back in your day, how many times have you felt that power of choice was taken from you? Right? So in this first module, you get that power of choice back. There's a wonderful story that my Baba told me. And it's about this beautiful woman who had this great villa up in the mountains along this pristine lake surrounded by gorgeous and awe-inspiring mountains. You merely needed to step outside, and with the feng shui of the land, you naturally fell into peace. Naturally felt connected inside. It was that beautiful. And she had these gardens, and the gardens were really lush, right, and really elaborate. And she had these fruit trees and gardens that they bore this very sweet and delectable fruit. And she had these servants who lived there very joyfully with her. And together they prospered, and they shared very generously of the fruit that this beautiful space had created. And one day this woman, she decided she wanted to go on a long pilgrimage. She packed her bag, she left the villa and the custodian of her servants, and she went off on her journey exploring a variety of different lands and cultures. And one day, she decided to come back home. But when she arrived, she discovered that her gardens that had borne such amazing fruit were now barren. Her elaborate gardens that were once lush and gave such beautiful flowers were now overrun with weeds. When she tried to enter her villa, she discovered she was barred at the door and that her servants had taken over the house and was living in it as if it was their own. So she had to fight and struggle to get back into her sanctuary that was once her home. To bring back the gardens and the trees that had borne such amazing, delectable fruit that she had generously shared before. And Baba said this is a story of the mind. The beautiful woman is you. The servants are the five senses. And the garden, the garden's the mind. Right? He says, when you rest within inside yourself, the senses and your resources within, they move to support you, to be in alignment with you. And when they're in alignment with you as you're resting within yourself, the mind becomes a garden that bears fruit generously. But when you take the mind and you give it over to the senses, and you give it over to others, suddenly it becomes in a state of disarray. Can you see? See, energy flows, right, where we direct our awareness. Where we direct our awareness is where energy is held. But if our awareness is scattered, right, easily distracted, full of clutter and fog, right, that energy is then being dissipated at random. And when that energy is being dissipated at random, we feel exhausted. We feel depleted. We feel like we're always just trying to catch up, or like we're a step behind. Right? In yoga, you are aware that one of the primary practices is to control and govern the flow of prana. And prana is the flow of intelligence. It is the flow of awareness. Any imbalance in the body is a disruption or blockage of the flow of prana. Right? But when you can hold your awareness where you want it to hold it, there that energy is able to nurture and make that blossom. Just like the sun coming down upon a closed flower naturally allows that flower to blossom. So too, when you can hold your awareness where you want to, there it blossoms. If you are to consider yoga, and of course when I say yoga, I don't mean asana, the postures, I mean yoga as a very systemic and exact system of consciousness development. And you're aware that there are the 8 limbs of yoga. Ashtanga Yoga. Yama, Niyama, Asana, Pranayama, Pratyahara, Dharana, Dhyana, Samadhi. 8 limbs. Those first 6 limbs, from the Yama and Niyamas to Dharana, Dharana means to hold. All of this is to condition the mind to be able to hold your awareness. The Yoga Sutras of Patanjali, 1.1, says, now begins yoga. And if you were to study the meaning of this by meaning the now begins yoga, is that now that the mind has been tamed and brought into alignment with your consciousness, now can you actually experience the practices of yoga. I love it. So in this module, what you're going to be doing, you're going to be taking back your sanctuary. Yes. You're going to get back into the captain's chair so you can direct your awareness where you want to direct it without being pulled, right, off into a scattered energy, being easily distracted. But how can you easily hold your awareness? Take back your sanctuary to comfortably rest within. So in this module, you are going to actually experience this state we call your resource state, your state of potential. Because when you're in this state, you have access to all of the resources already within inside you. I love it. You're going to learn how to access this state at will. When you need it, you say, okay, resource state. Sounds good, right? You're going to learn exactly what supports this state and actually what takes away from this state. And we're going to share with you some techniques so you can easily sustain this state throughout your day. Because you can see the ultimate goal is to be able to rest effortlessly in a state where you have all the resources within you. You have access to that. Where you can rest in a state where you can hold your awareness where you want to and have that power of choice. Saying, I want to move in this direction, and be able to move in this direction where distractions and patterns, old patterns and habits and triggers, they don't pull you off. But instead they just bounce off because now you have the power of choice to comfortably rest within. That's what you're going to get in this module. So you can see how important it is this first module. This module is so important. We actually have a 3-month program just focused on what you're going to learn in this one. It's powerful. So invite yourself to explore as deeply as you can this first module. Explore as deeply as you can this inner resource. We're going to share with you exactly how to step into it. We're going to share how you have a direct influence. But we're going to share with you how you can gauge your results. What you're going to see in people, events, circumstances, and yourself as you step in this, because that's what makes this program so powerful. It is results-based. It is tangible work. What you're doing is you're doing really deep work. Not everyone is showing up for this work. You're showing up. So get ready for some transformation, because if you apply this just a little bit, you're going to see such huge, amazing shifts and transformations in your relationships, in maybe it's your work, your yoga practice. Think how valuable it will be when you have the power of choice. You can rest comfortably within full access to your resources. I love it. So let's get started. Hari Om.